Question for you. Do you want to be happy in your relationship? Do you want to be happy in your relationship with the man of your dreams, the man you desire, the man who's currently in your life, or maybe a future man in your life? My question is really simple. Do you want to be happy in a relationship? Now, there's one thing I've learned about feminine energy, and that happiness is something that feminine energy women really, really struggle with. We struggle with feminine energy because it is so difficult to find our feelings and really know what we're experiencing. When we're in our masculine energy, we're coming from a place of action and making things happen and solving problems. We're not really feeling what's going on in our bodies. So, if you want to be happy in a relationship, it of course is going to start with you. But before we get too cliche and just say, oh, happiness starts with you, let's go a little bit deeper and see if any of these situations feel like, what's going on with you in your own personal life. Also, I'd be happy to take a couple of questions and talk about your specific situation. And we're going to go deeper, do a little bit more of a deep dive into what really creates happiness for you and your relationship. Now, I will tell you that early on in my relationship with men, my biggest problem was that I was the masculine energy partner, and they were also the masculine energy partner. And the problem is when a woman is showing up as the masculine energy force in the relationship, making things happen, solving problems, having this energy of like, I'm going to go out and make it happen for us, we can really mean well. We can even suggest our partner read a psychology book about how to improve your relationship or how to increase self awareness or become a better person. Now, how many of you have recommended some form of therapy for your partner? Or begun to diagnose them with, maybe something's wrong with them. Maybe you have some sort of personality disorder or you're a narcissist or whatever it may be. And that's actually being in your masculine energy. And it comes from a really well meaning place, doesn't it? It comes from a place of, I want to have a happy relationship. I want to help my partner. And so we come across as helpful in our world, but in the man's world, we're pushing him away. Now, why does that work? And how can you apply this to situations that are going on with you right now? So, whenever there's a problem in the relationship, you may think, if I don't do or say something, it will not get solved. Now, you are totally capable of doing or saying what you need in that moment to help the relationship. This is what you need for you. All right, so think about that. But when you move forward and begin to take the man's role, he can get really dumbed down. He can lose his ambition and motivation to problem solve. And so instead, what you want to do is do what you need to do, but give space for the man to do it. Because if you do it for the man, he can get lazy, or he can get kind of like, you're doing it for me. And this competition begins to happen. Now, when two men compete, there's only one alpha, there's only one winner. When a man competes with a woman's masculine energy, this is why he bows out of a relationship. This is why he walks away from a relationship and he says, I just can't make you happy. Or he gets super frustrated, or he does these hyper masculine behaviors, such as yelling, getting very loud, being, very privileged acting like he gets to behave these ways or, leave whenever he wants to. And they get these sort of like toxic or hyper masculine traits that are not healthy. And that's because they are in a battle royale with you energetically. So let's look at a couple of questions here because I really want to go in depth and work with you about what you're feeling and experiencing. One of them, late night, says, I'm feeling smothered when the man starts to really like me and feeling like my choice is taken away. Well, this is such a good example. Now, even married women who are in a situation with their husband where their husband maybe is ignoring them and not spending as much time with them, and they're like, how do I bring back that magic? How do I get my partner to like me again? Well, it's very similar to feeling smothered. As you're having an emotional experience, you're feeling something. So we're already 9/10 of the way there. You know that you're feeling something and you're experiencing something. So behind that feeling of like, I feel smothered, or I feel lonely, I feel very isolated, I feel unloved, whatever it may be, you're feeling something. You're aware, you've got self awareness. The second part is, what do I need? So in that moment, what do I need? If I am lonely, what can I do to connect with others? What can I do to create a bigger social circle for myself? Or even help an elderly person or a neighbor or something, you're connecting. If I'm feeling smothered, what can I do to help myself feel better? Okay, am I giving this guy all of my time and energy? And if every time he wants to see me, am I going, yes, okay, I'll be there. Every time he calls me, do I pick up the phone? Every time he texts me, do I text him right back? So that's about your energy. Now, here's the big takeaway with this. Is that feminine energy, the focus is actually on your energy. Your energy is everything. Your energy is actually kind of all you got. It's not only just your life force, but it's about how you're spending your life on this planet. What are you giving focus to with your energy? That's the big difference between a happy relationship and a happy life, or feeling bogged down, feeling like something needs to change, feeling like you constantly need to improve, you keep need to reading self-help book after self-help book, or keep having these long chats with your partner where you're trying to figure out or solve something. Well, that's the secret to it, is that what am I putting my energy and focus into? Now, if you want to go one step further and you're into manifestation, or you're into trusting a higher source, that I can have a happy relationship, I can call forth a loving, long lasting relationship that leads to marriage. The problems I'm experiencing with my husband, they can be resolved, they can be healed. I believe this. So now we're on a different level emotionally and spiritually. You're moving into that place of anything is possible. Instead of like, he's never going to wise up, he's never going to get better. Or as long as his ex wife is around, we're going to be experiencing whatever we're going through. And I hope I'm speaking to some of you here. If I am, take a moment, give me a little thumbs up. That lets me know I'm speaking your language. I'm talking about problems you experience. A big one women have is feeling ignored or taken for granted by a man. And if you put your energy into fixing that ignored, fixing that, why is he not calling me back? Why am I not getting more from him? If you put more of your energy into that, you're going to get more of that, but also you're going to be living in that place of energy. You see? So if you want a happy relationship, what am I feeling? Number two, what can I do for me about that feeling that's not about controlling another person, that isn't about challenging their energy or moving in on their space or making it happen or solving it quickly. It's a different way of doing things, isn't it? It's a much more slow, laid back, um, less anxious, less focus of your energy way to do this. So let's look at a few more questions. That was a really, really great question, um, late night. Let's move to one more here. And hello, everyone. You're saying hello in the chat. Thank you so much. Um, Emily says, as soon as I know this wasn't my man, but as soon as I finished He wasn't stepping up. He committed to someone else. How can I think about it to feel better? Well, there's nothing worse than when a guy gets out of the relationship with you and then he takes up with someone else like a couple of months later. It's happened to a couple of my clients that I've worked with. Now, I will tell you that there was something not working in that relationship to begin with. And I think, Amila, if you're really going to be honest with me, there was something that wasn't working in that relationship. There is some part of you that was maybe a little bit relieved that this guy moved on to someone else. And I want you to focus not on so much on how could he do this or what was he thinking or that's where your energy might be or what can I do to feel better that he is now in a relationship. So you're putting your energy and your focus on him instead of you. And the real thing you're wanting, I would guess, is I want to be in a relationship. I want to be happy. If that's what he's doing, or if that's what anybody's doing, I want the same thing. So now, boom, you've just moved up a tier. You're in a new place. You've raised your standards from like, I want what he's got, and I feel bad, it's not me, to I am claiming my place in this world. I am worthy of a great love. I do not need to do or be anyone or anything to get loved. Love is my birthright. The right man will be attracted to that shiny red beating heart inside of you. And you have to trust and believe that. And when we get down in the dumps, something else affects us. We can't get out of it. And it affects that energy around you, that glow around you. Now, look into my course, Fem Diamond and Fem Tools for Dating. If you got to get your self-esteem back up, get your mojo back up, and get into your feminine energy where you feel really comfortable and good about who you are in this moment, just the way you are, even if it's a little bit wounded and a little bit sad over the past, own it. Own it. That's what makes you brilliant and beautiful. It is our flaws, and it's the things we actually think we should hide from people that people really love about us and find charming and endearing. It's not perfectionism. It's not being perfect. Shab Shabangi says, sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm in a long distance relationship. How can I keep the spark alive? We're both in college and it's really hectic to make time for each other. Well, if you've been watching me for a while, you probably know I am not the person you want to talk to about long distance relationships because I was in one out of college for a while, even during college for a while, on and off, and it was horrible. Because all my girlfriends were going out and they were like, "You want to come?" And I'm like, "I can't. I miss my guy and we can't see each other." And then when my guy and I would get together, it was like amazing. But then it would go back to having all this time and space apart. So here's what I suggest. Here's what I wish I would have done with this guy. And also, quick story. Um, I was pretty sure he was seeing someone else, but he never admitted to it. During a particular time. And then one time when he and I were, as adults, chatting, he brought something up and the timeline synced. And I was like, oh, like I knew he had been lying to me. You know, I didn't bring it up because I value his friendship. But anyway, here's the thing. You are young. You have lots of options. If he was the right guy for you or in any long distance relationship, the two of you have to move closer together. You have to try it out, whether it means changing schools or what have you. In fact, if you were to bring that up to him, like, I'm going to move closer. I've decided I'm going to apply at your college, whatever. You might start to get a little different reaction from him. He might go, yay, yes, yes. Or he might go, are you sure? Are you sure you really want to do that? Okay, so right there, which one do you think would happen? So here is the way out of this. I love you. I'm crazy about you. I love spending time with you, but I want to keep my options open. I want to keep my options open. We are both young And if we really, really wanted to be together, we would move to be together closer. So I want to keep seeing you, but I want to keep my options open. Yes, you're going to have to discuss if you're having sex with other people, if you're going to be in a sexually exclusive relationship, or if that gate is also getting open. You're going to have those discussions. It's a tough one, but you will look back on it and you'll be happy you did. I spent so much of my time alone, and also alone and not developing my identity in a relationship, and my skill set in a relationship. And I was with this guy and dependent on him for so long that when I finally did get in a relationship, I kind of like didn't know how to do it. I mean, imagine not working for four years and then going back to work and all the technology's changed and everything. You had a tough time catching up, not to mention socially catching up. So relationships keep us active and experienced and learning and growing. That's the beauty of relationships. Bree said, "Hi Bree, I'm 4 to 5 months into a relationship. He hasn't told me he's in love with me, and he said he's not ready to because I have reservations about his family. They can be inappropriate." Well, there's a little saying that when you marry someone, you marry their family. And I didn't want to believe that. And here I am, I'm giving you all this new age, whatever you think, whatever you feel, you want to be in a happy relationship, you will have to find something you love about his family. Because his family of origin, these are the people he loves and he looks up to, and he wants to be proud of who he's bringing home and into their life. You will have to make peace with his family and stop judging them. And I remember going out to dinner with the man who became my first husband, his parents, and I was just like, what did I get myself into? These people, they were so country. Um, and he was sort of like, do you remember that show, The Munsters? Well, they weren't monsters or anything, but like he was so educated and his clothes were always so ironed and neat. And he just came out, he was like the young Sheldon of the family. Okay. And then the dad had his cigarettes like rolled up in his sleeve, and we're at a nice restaurant. His mom was like already like had too much to drink, and I was just like, I walked into something that was not a fit for me, but I loved him and I wanted to be with him. And that meant making peace and loving his family. I wasn't that great at it. I was young. I was making a lot of mistakes, but that's what you're going to have to do. Um, Sheba says, "Oh my God, you're scaring me. It's a tough discussion for both of us, but I really thank you for advice. It is a little scary, so take your time. Take your time with it. You don't have to do anything instantly. But yeah, keep your options open. There are a lot of, you know, I don't believe in just one flame or one soulmate or anything like that. I think you have so many options on this planet. You have so many options. And you know what the biggest part of those options are? Probably bigger than compatibility. And that is something known as proximity, how close they are to you." All right. Bree said I hit it home with the whole dynamic of that family. All right, you get it. Summer says, "Love you so much." Well, thank you, Summer. I appreciate that and sending you love as well. I'm in the pre-engagement phase. We're planning life together, marriage. I come from a lot of dysfunctional or dysfunction, and I'm meeting a whole new version of myself and feeling fear growing. It's really scary. I feel like a big grown up. You make me think of I didn't get married until I was in my 30s, and I wasn't aware of it, but I was very afraid of that whole domestic We're at home together. We're in just one town. We're like, I couldn't imagine having children. None of that stuff. It just all felt like, ugh. But what it was a type of fear of making roots and making a healthy life for myself because all I had known was this topsy turvy. So, yeah, it does feel scary. It does because you are embracing this new normal and it will feel boring. That was the thing I was so afraid of. And I've said many times that a healthy love can feel very boring because you're not going high and low and high and low. It can feel a little boring. So while you feel scared, while you feel bored, know your core values. Your core values are how you treat people, how you would hope to be treated and spoken to, your honesty, how you show up with integrity on this planet, how you align with your feminine energy, how your energy in your body feels. You can always tell when your energy feels out of whack and sort of like feeling like you're not in alignment because you'll feel like anxious or tense. And for a lot of you, like even when you're, in different phases of your menstrual cycle, or even for menopause, you can feel like this tension, like kind of cranking up inside of you. And it's usually because our brains are thinking about all these things that we need to do or conquer, say. So write them all out and tell yourself, I got this. I got this. This is in alignment with my core values. This is not. This is what I'm going to focus on. This is what I'm not going to give my energy and attention to. I hope that helps. Okay. All right. Bree says, I have changed her life forever. You're so welcome. And Summer said, yeah, domestic life is scary. It's something I haven't known in a relationship and a partnership. Bree, for me, when I got married, um, I've talked a little bit about my childhood. That we moved a lot. My mom left my dad a lot. We were in a religion that told my mom not to leave my dad, no matter how horrible he was treating us. He was physically abusive. And I didn't know that, like, other moms and dads didn't yell at each other or that kids weren't being, hit and abused all the time. I thought we were all treated that way. Um, and so when I met someone and I told them, about my childhood, they looked mortified. And for a while, I lost boyfriends that I would tell this to, but I was so afraid that if I didn't tell them what my past was like, that they would somehow see some side of me that would scare them or they wouldn't understand. And so I wanted to kind of use that as an excuse. If I messed up, it was because of my bad childhood or I was moved around a lot. But what ended up happening with the right partner is, again, my first husband, I he knew all of this stuff and he said, "Well, yeah, you're going to have a lot of hard stuff to face. You're going to have a lot of difficult feelings to feel." And instead of using it as like, "Oh, that's an excuse for your behavior," he was like, "No, this is going to be more difficult for you. Maybe we should wait a little while to have kids. If you don't feel confident with your parenting skills or whatever." You see what I mean? And it was like I was finally safe and I finally got to process all those pains and wounds. And you may experience a very similar thing. When you get in a healthy relationship, you are finally safe to start healing. And think about how that can feel to finally be safe to be angry and safe to express all of this stuff you have felt for years. So make sure you have a good therapist and someone that can be that person for you. Because again, this is about being happy in a relationship. We really don't want to bog our partners down with all of that stuff that has happened to us. Because crying louder to anyone is not going to make it go away. It's not going to make anybody come and fix it. It's always up to us to do that. All right, I feel like I'm like doling out the tough love in this one. But again, accountability, being reliant on yourself, these are all the really important parts of a happy relationship and not looking to your partner to make you happy or keep you happy. And Summer says, I got this. Yes, you do. Um, yeah, and boredom, like face it head on and just say, you know what? We might be feeling a little bored, but we're safe. We are safe, safe, safe. All right, I don't see any new questions coming up. Um, Bree said, I would love to know how you became so intuitive, Adrienne. You always understand. You know, I have been doing this for about 10 years now as a relationship coach. And I have never on my website or in videos per se, I have never talked about being intuitive. But I use it in my work. And that's why I'm very good at getting back situations and helping women with their partner because I do have a little bit of a gift that I can step inside that person's head. I can step inside of it and I can see and experience what your partner is feeling. And I can also see and experience what you're feeling. And I do get like images and places and things that I see, and it's always kind of spooky to me because I'm a little bit afraid of this stuff, but I always use it to help people. Not too long ago, I was talking to a client, and I was like, "Why do I keep seeing this part, Albuquerque?" And she's like, "Oh, that's where my company just closed, and they just moved to this other place." And so I have like spooky weird things like that, or if a I can sometimes see previous family members or, things from your past or things about that partner, but I'm only shown what is important to help you in that journey. It's kinda like if you were to flip open a book that had all the answers in it, and I'm able to kinda just see a few of those pages. So that is something that I get to do. How did I get that way? I don't know. But I know I've had it since I was a kid. When I was a very young girl, I had several experiences. Maybe I'll make a video about it. I had several experiences where I knew something was going to happen, or it would come to me in a dream, and the next day I would tell my mom, or we used to play this game in my family where I would tell them who's calling on the phone. Uh, It's just weird stuff like that. I don't really like talking about it, but I could beat my whole family at, like, memory games with a full set of card decks when I was a very young girl because I could feel the card that was behind the deck, behind even though it was flipped over. I could feel it. Now, I haven't gone to Vegas, I haven't done anything like that, but maybe I should. But I think just some people, you find your superpower. And I've always wanted to use it for good, not evil. Although I will tell you, I was in sales for a while, and I used it to my advantage. Olympia says, "How can I attract a partner that feels safe to me?" First of all, put it in your energy. I want a safe and loving partner. These are the qualities. These are the characteristics. This is how it will feel. So for me, I really wanted to know I was coming home and my partner was going to be there. Like, no doubts. I didn't wanna come home and, like, not know, am I not gonna see my partner for 2 weeks? Are they just gonna walk out when they get mad? So get really clear on those core needs, and I talk about that in Fem Tools for Dating. Um, Bree said, "Yes, you are. I've seen you work live several times, and it's unbelievable. I would like to take a course on it if you offered it about being intuitive." Um, hmm. I could try and think about how to teach it, but I will tell you whatever I have, it just comes in through my forehead right here. And if you ever see me, like, going, like, look like I got a migraine, I'm getting something. But I don't really know how to teach it. It just kinda shows up. Hmm. I'll think about that some more. Oh, thank you. I've changed your life. Oh, send me an invite to the wedding. I love that. Please do. Oh, yes. Asteroid made a good point in chat. Someone asked, "Do you date guys who vape?" I date a guy who vapes. Yeah. I'm all like, as long as you don't blow it in my face. You gotta be you. You gotta be you, you know. Jasmine said, the guy I've been dating wants to move in together. What's a topic we should discuss before the big move? Oh, Jasmine, I'm gonna make you my last Q&A because this is a good one. This is something I call the terms and agreements or the terms and conditions. So right now, write that down because I want you to go to YouTube and I want you to Google my name or search in YouTube my name, Adrienne Everheart, and terms and conditions or terms and agreements. So, terms and conditions and terms and agreements are all about the things we discuss before we get into a relationship. So, when a guy wants commitment, he's like, "Yeah, I'm with you, and I want you to be with me, and it's just me and you." You say, "Okay, well, like, how often will we be seeing one another? When we go on dates, are you always going to pick up the check? When will I meet your family? When will I meet your children? I want to be a wife one day. How do you feel about marriage? How do you feel about having children?" You discuss these things. Those are the terms and conditions of your relationship. It's very much, if you look anthropologically at what a marriage is, it is a social and economic agreement. So get clear on those, all right? Someone asked me my favorite NBA team. I'm more of an ACC. I'm more of a college college basketball, and that would be Chapel Hill. Someone said my addictions keep me away from finding a good partner. You know, um, addictions for a lot of people are tough. We all have vices in this world. We all have something we do. I'll tell you something I do. That's a vice of mine, and I'm a lip biter. And I have to really, really uh, there have been times I haven't made videos because I can't cover up that I'm a lip biter when I get really tense or stressed. And addictions, there are so many great addiction specialists out there that are doing like that whole cognitive behavioral where you take the sentence in your head. Like for example, you said, "My addictions keep me away from finding a good partner." They don't actually. It's your belief that your addictions keep you away from having a good partner. And you're actually, you know, if you could go deeper and go, okay, what's that social media giving me? Like, what's that feeling I need? There are other ways to find that feeling. You got this. You can do this. People have beat such such difficult things in this world to create the life that they want. I have no doubts that you can beat any addiction that comes before you. And Vanessa says, it's all about trusting yourself and your feelings. Yes, yes, yes. Pampered Goddess just showed up. Lou said, my wife and daughters want to quit dipping. Um, Now I'll tell you, uh, my mom for years did not smoke, did not dip, but she had prior. She'd probably be so mad at me for saying this. But you got to pick your vice. At least you're not smoking. When my mom went into the hospital not too long ago, I was trying to tattle on her to all her doctors about her little bit of snuff that she dips sometimes, and she's a little country girl. And they were like, "Yeah, yeah, we're really not concerned with that. We're really more concerned with smoking." So you know what? Works for me. My mom's happy. She feels good about herself, and she has to do, you know what I mean? She has to You have to be your own self, be true. So you can quit dipping, Luke, if it's what you really want to do. Otherwise, you need to tell your family, like, look, this is who I am right now. And the more pressure you're putting on me, I can't be myself. I got this. I need a vice for a reason. Life is hard. That's why when I see people vaping or whatever it may be, I don't judge because like we don't know what they're going through. We really, really don't. Whether they're um, overeating or drinking or scrolling on social media, like we don't know why people are numbing themselves. And especially anybody that's overweight, they're judged so harshly in this world because there are so many things, not just food, that make people, overweight. And I just hope that this world is becoming a better place where we just can stop judging each other and just let people show up as they are and connect with your people, connect with your crew. Oh, Leon, I'm not 54. I'm 51. Gonna be 52 this year. Somebody said, what would you suggest as the basic fundamentals of a good, long-lasting relationship? Some things that shouldn't be compromised. So what's important for you? For me, it is go talk about those love languages. Know your love language, but don't let your relationship depend on it. So quality time is a big one for my love language. I got to be with somebody who wants to worship me. I got to be honest. I got to be worshiped. I need lots of quality time. I need lots of touch. I need lots of care, like lots of devotion. That's more important to me than a lot of things. So get clear on what you want in a relationship so that you can be happy. All right. Let's see here. Laffy Love said, "Are you a lesbian?" You guys are asking some funny questions. Um, all right. Bree said, "I'd like to know what your opinion is on your partner making significantly less than you. Will they resent you eventually?" Bree, I do think men have a really hard time when women make more money than them. I absolutely do. And not to mention that I also believe whoever makes more money has like a little bit more financial power in the relationship. And I attract a lot of powerful dynamite women who are high earners. They're very successful. And they will tend to attract men that are not as high of earners, but that are very devoted men. So, how do you balance that out? The man has to find his jobs around the house and around in the relationship. His jobs, the things he is good at doing. And you have to make sure you say, I appreciate you doing this so much. Oh, thank you so much for this. You have to give him a la praise. And men need that whole lot of praise or they don't feel valuable. And they can do some resentment with that. And so you have to remind them sometimes, like, oh, I really appreciate your help. Whereas women, we don't need this so much. Like, it's a very different world for a lot of women. All right, everybody. I'm going to let you all go. I hope this has been some great advice on how to be happy in a relationship. If you want to learn more, I've got a best-selling ebook. I have some wonderful courses. I have a proven ABCs to Getting Back course. Go check them out on my website. And if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and show me some love in the comments and give me a thumbs up. This has been so wonderful to chat with you all. I'm really glad I was able to work it in today. All right, everybody. Mwah. Lots of love, and I look forward to hearing from you in the comments. Bye-bye.